Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. And here's what we're seeing in the crypto space, guys. Day after day after day, XRP continues to make new highs, continuing with the bullish momentum. Overnight last night, we saw XRP hit about 28.5, or rather 0.286 cents. Right now trading at about 0.281. So the momentum keeps continuing, and this is XRP, as I said, on the hourly. Let's put it on the daily for a second, and you guys can see the pattern is now doing the reverse of what it had done before. So where we had seen this decline, right? Then we saw some basing down here back in December and early January, and then finally a strong move up. And now we're seeing the momentum rise. And so the question is, will we get to that 31, 32 cent mark and break this level of resistance? Or will it take time? My guess is that we will hit this level of resistance and we'll base in there for a while. Probably doing something like this. You know, maybe going a little lower, a little higher before we continue to rise. I don't think it's going to happen all at once, to be honest with you. This is likely what we're going to see. Although that said, we could continue with the bullish rally. Anything's possible in this market. It all just depends on buyers and sellers. If they're feeling tired, if there are more buyers, less sellers, or vice versa, or if sellers and buyers have become equal, this is what will dictate the move, and so we got to keep an eye on that. This from Rob Cash at Rob_Cash71 on Twitter. And this has to do with Airwallex, a RippleNet member, partners with Visa. So Australian-based fintech unicorn Airwallex has partnered with payments behemoth Visa to launch a borderless card. The new offering is supposed to make it easier and cheaper for businesses to make cross-border payments. From the outset, the card will only be available in Australia, but Airwallex also plans to roll out its product in Hong Kong and the UK. This partnership with Visa takes us to a new level where we can now offer business and end-to-end financial services solutions, says Airwallex CEO Jack Zhang. Airwallex joined the Ripple network back in October of 2017 along with dLocal, TransferGo, and other companies. The company uses RippleNet for processing corporate payments in the Asia-Pacific region, so they're making another partnership with Visa. We know Visa already owns Earthport, which uses Ripple technology as well. So they're building this out. Hopefully, we can get a borderless Visa card available all around the world in the coming months. And this from Free American Spirit on Twitter, at FAmericanSpirit on Twitter. The Solagenic Wallet is ready to download, and so for those of you guys who are interested in this kind of thing, the Sola Wallet is here, and here's a link to the page. I'll link it in the description. It's from the Google Play Store. And for those of you guys who do not know, CoinField's latest development, so this news was from back in October. This with regards to the Solagenic product, the latest update related to Ripple and XRP. Again, this back from October came when CoinField, the famous Canadian cryptocurrency exchange, revealed that they are now working on a new project called Solagenic that will be fully built on the prominent XRP ledger. The Solagenic white paper stated Solagenic is introducing a sophisticated ecosystem that facilitates users with investing, trading, and on-demand tokenization of assets such as stocks, ETFs, and fiat on top of the XRP ledger. So here we go, the tokenization of everything. A tokenized stablecoin of TSLA stock or USD fiat is presented as TSLAs or USDs respectively. These stablecoins are traded and redeemable against XRP and the Solo coin on both CoinField exchange and XRPL DEX. So it's here, guys. The Solo wallet is here if you're interested in that. And Ripple leads all crypto and blockchain investments in Q4 of 2019 with a $200 million round of funding. So the amount of private money invested in blockchain and crypto startups dropped in 2019. If you guys remember Brad Garlinghouse, even though we had a bad year in 2018, right at the end of 2018, he did say, you know, it was a bad year for crypto as a whole. We were in the bear market, recovering from the euphoria of 2017, but Ripple as a company actually made the most progress in 2018. Okay, that's when they forged a lot of their partnerships. That's when we really started to begin to see what was going on in the space and kind of getting more clear hints as to where the company was going. Well, 2019 actually saw less money invested in crypto startups, but Ripple was the #1 funded company for blockchain technology in 2019. CB Insight reports that dollar funding last year is down nearly 30% from 2018 highs of $4.3 billion. But in the fourth quarter of 2019, Ripple outperformed other fintechs in the space in terms of investment dollars. The real-time gross settlement firm raised $200 million, and we reported on that in the Series C funding round, while other blockchain firms only raised about $103 million, followed by this Bitcoin mining startup Layer 1, which raised $50 million. So Ripple at the top of the list, still making waves with investors. People are really understanding how these guys are going to change the world and realizing, you know what? My bet is on Ripple. I'm going to place my money on this company because they are going to really make earth-shattering moves with RippleNet and the XRP token. And guys, I have to talk about this because this has been in the news and we thought he was on our side. Galaxy's Novogratz. Okay, so this is Mike Novogratz. He says XRP will underperform immensely this year. And I'm going to talk about this entire thing because he kind of explained himself later on Twitter. But anyway, here's what this article says. So XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, will have another lackluster year in 2020. Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz told a room full of financial advisors. Dude, what are you doing, man? What's more, he blamed Ripple, one of the firm's largest investments, for what he sees as XRP's underwhelming prospects. The fund manager, whose firm trades and invests in digital assets and startups, chatted on stage with personal finance superstar Rick Elderman at TD Ameritrade's National Link 2020 conference in Orlando, Florida last week. At the end of the discussion, Novogratz fielded questions from the audience. Okay, and so one person asked about his opinion on XRP, and here's what he said. Ripple, the company, owns 60 billion of the coins, which we know, and he says that's a lot. The total amount of XRP in circulation is 100 billion tokens, while Ripple was gifted, in quotes, 80 billion. Its holdings are down to 56 billion, of which 48.9 billion, which are in escrow, right? Nevertheless, Novogratz likened XRP to a situation where a company continuously sells its shares. Okay, and here's where I think he misstepped. This is where he made the mistake. He says, when I'm buying a stock, if I know someone's selling $10 billion worth of it at some price, it makes me less excited to buy the stock. And of course, Ripple has to retort. So Brian Madigan fires back, XRP is a digital asset. It is not a stock and does not give you any stake in Ripple or any other company. So first of all, don't liken XRP to Ripple stock. This is what they've been trying to distance themselves from for at least the last 2 years or so. Second, she goes on to say XRP has legitimate utility for payments. Companies like MoneyGram, Bitso, and others are using XRP in production through RippleNet's on-demand liquidity. The company also dramatically reduced its programmatic quarterly token sales this past year, dropping from 251 million worth in Q2 down to none in Q4. So when they have guys like Mike Novogratz going and giving their opinion on stage at the National Link 2020 conference in Orlando, when he clearly has not done his research, guys, and this is stuff we already know. This is not even hidden information. This is nothing new that Ripple's telling us. This is stuff that we talk about every day, okay, on this channel, I'm sure on other channels as well. I can confidently say that I am probably more qualified than Mike Novogratz to talk about XRP, how it's used, why it's likely to go up in price over the coming years, because I have a working knowledge on this thing, whereas it doesn't seem like these guys even pay attention. So Brian Madigan goes on to say these statements make it clear that Mike doesn't understand how Ripple manages its stake in XRP and didn't take the time to read what we make publicly available every quarter. The increase of circulating supply from Ripple distributions of XRP is actually lower than increase in circulating supply of BTC, BCH, ETH, etc. And so part of what Mike Novogratz was talking about was the fact that the price of XRP dropped from about 35 cents in January of 2019 to by the end of the year was at about 19 cents. And that represents about a 45% decrease. In the same time, Bitcoin surged from about 3,700 to about 7,100, which represents an 89% increase. So again, if you're taking this thing year over year, and if you're just looking at the calendar year, yes, it did underperform in 2019. But you got to remember, calendar years are human constructions. We tend to like to use them because it kind of represents time for human beings. But at the end of the day, it's all perspective. If you take XRP from the beginning of 2017, let's say, to the end of 2017, it outperformed Bitcoin by leaps and bounds. So, you know, are we going to complain? Are we going to argue which one is better than the other? Essentially, what you have to do is know your facts and understand the ecosystem and not just throw out stupid numbers, Michael Novogratz, because you are misleading people. You have a stage and you are using it to mislead people, albeit probably not consciously. Then he took to Twitter. And so this is how Mike Novogratz responded on Twitter, because you got to remember his company is an investor in Ripple. So he says, Galaxy is is a big investor in Ripple Labs. I would like to see them do well. Brad Garlinghouse has done a great job as CEO. I commented that XRP tokens underperformed BTC last year because Ripple owns a lot of them. I have been almost solely long BTC for the past 15 months, okay? He goes on to say, this year the broader alt market, including XRP, has outperformed BTC. This has surprised me. That said, I see more and more large accounts getting educated and set up to be accumulators of BTC and believe on the risk-adjusted basis it's the best place to bet on crypto. He continues, BTC has found a place as a weapon in macro portfolios as digital gold, a hard asset. All other cryptos are venture bets and will only have lasting value if they become a product that is useful. Ethereum might be the trust level people build on. If it does, it's a great bet. XRP and many other cryptos like ETH are still in the proving phase. They aren't going to succeed as solely a store of value as BTC has taken that lane. XRP does have its own fervent community, largely in Asia, but has a large supply to absorb, some 57% or so. The price of XRP will be determined like all prices. If there are more buyers than sellers, which I always say, and the company has a lot of control here, the price will rise. The company needs to distribute in a rational way at the same time building a real and scalable use case. I hope they do. And so Nick Foong down here responds with the damage control meme. Yeah, sounds a bit like damage control after slamming the Ripple token. And ultimately now what he's saying is, well, you know, the price will be based on supply and demand, folks. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like how everything is based on supply and demand, Mike Novogratz. And the use case, that is the important thing. Will XRP have a more important use case than Bitcoin down the road? Absolutely. People will still invest in Bitcoin because they believe that it is digital gold. I'm invested in Bitcoin. Mind you, 80% of my cryptocurrency investment, roughly 80% give or take, is in XRP because that is where the future is. That is what I have my faith in. And let's not forget when he said, you know, well, Ripple owns a lot of the supply and they can just, you know, sell it as they please or donate it or give it away or whatever he said. Well, guess who shoots back? David Schwartz, responding to Eric Dadoun's tweet about the Mike Novogratz thing. And so essentially Eric Dadoun summarizes this. David Schwartz responds, I wonder if he thinks miners aren't constant sellers, which essentially means, what, do you think Bitcoin miners are just doing it for the good of their heart? They are mining and they are selling. And not only that, they are mining specifically to sell. Whereas Ripple is utilizing their supply strategically to get the ecosystem up and running so that people will run on Ripple. The people of the world will be using XRP in those everyday transactions once regulations come to pass. So guys, at the end of the day, which cryptocurrency do you think holds more value? And do you think Mike Novogratz is talking out of his butt? I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.